Hello and welcome to PlayStation Racer. My name is Mitchell Morgan, and today, following some reports of some lagging issues on my stream, I decided to jump online and just make some changes to the stream setup, and I was just live streaming it just to see how things were going. Well, whilst I was doing that, a number of people jumped into the chat and said, hey, there's enough of us in here to do a little race. How about doing a daily race? So, well, I didn't want to do a daily race. So what I did is loaded up a lobby, and a few of them jumped into the lobby with me. And what was better still is, as you can see, the guy in the Ferrari there is Faz. And you're also going to see Greg in here as well. Two of the guys that have been with me for quite some time on the channel. And two of the guys I consider my heroes. I mean, in particular, Faz here, that we're looking at in the Ferrari. He was with me from the very, very, very early days. He was the one who persuaded me to do the lobbies, or one of the ones that persuaded me to do the lobbies back in the day. And he was one of the people that I would be, if only I could race and keep up with you and challenge you, that would absolutely make my day. Well, today, that day happened. Let's get into the race and we'll see what happened. Okay, so we are at the Kyoto Driving Park. We're running the Yamagiwa race. That is the daily race B this week. Soft tyres, racing soft tyres, 5 laps. And the meta car around here is the Huracan, and I am in the Lamborghini Huracan. You'll notice that Faz is in the Italia 458, and also Greg White, I think, was in the... I think he actually jumped into the Huracan as well for this one. We did a race before where he was in the Genesis, I believe. But we've also got a Jaguar in here and all sorts. So... unfortunately, I'm only doing this from a screenshot replay. I didn't save the replay annoyingly because I had to get back to work. But I started off in 4th place behind Greg White, who's got it a little bit loose going through the first corner. And then we've got Mulo in 2nd, Baz out front at the moment. And then I've got Massa, Madakat, Cathy Marco and JW behind. So a few of us do race in the PSR lobbies. Faz, Greg White, myself and JW. And you can see there Greg White's getting the back end out on the Huracan, as was I. And you've got a battle going on behind. We've got 3 wide as one of the cars gets run out wide. I think that was JW that got run out wide a little bit there. But it's all nice and clean and tidy at the front as we come down into the little chicane here that I've been struggling with all week. Starting to get it right, and just following Greg White through there, we did get that a little bit better. And then we come down to this tight left hand, what I refer to as the hairpin. It pretty much is a hairpin. And Greg White at the beginning of this one said, come out of here in 1st gear. Well, again, I'm coming out of there in 2nd. Hopefully I will correct that in a minute. But you can see how the 2 guys in front do get a little bit of... a little bit of a better exit than me, which has enabled them to pull away. Greg is now just 1.1 seconds ahead as we get into the tight right-hander before we head up the start-finish straight. And you can see that getting an exit off of that straight is all important. The guys pulling away from me at the moment, they've got the lead out to 1.3 from Greg White and 1.46 to the leader, although the 2 leaders are absolutely nose to tail. Behind me, things seem to have settled down a little bit. We've got Merlot, Cathy Marco and JW really tight together. And then just a little bit behind, we've got another battle going on between Gelovina Rego and Massa. And I apologise if I am getting the names wrong. But we're going pretty well. Purple, again, for the timing notification on the screen there. That's always nice when you can see that you are getting quicker and quicker. And we've now got the gap down to just over 1 second to Greg White. Baz still out front. Now these 2 guys up front, you know, Faz has been with me since the very beginning of me going into the lobbies. He watched me doing the daily races when I started to stream those. I then got into a bit of a flaff with the daily races, and he and a few others said, hey, come on, why don't you do some lobbies? And I never looked back, so I got a massive amount to thank Faz for. And Greg has been with me for ages and ages and ages, and these two guys, as I said, they're my hero. Well, they're not the only heroes I've got plenty of other in the PSR community, and I'm not going to name any more names. On the grass a little bit there, so I'm going to get dirty tyres. Greg White looking at the right hand side of Faz, just trying to unsettle him a little bit, but Faz is not having any of it. Yeah, so these two guys really are a couple of my heroes, and I thought, this is great. If I can just stay with these two guys that are typically much quicker than me at racing. I forget their actual DRs, but I think that Greg has made A+ recently, and I think that Faz, if he's not already, he's definitely an A to an A+ racer. I mean, you can see here, he's defending beautifully from Greg all the way through these laps, absolutely racing both of them as A+ racers. And at the moment, I'm just falling back ever so slightly and then edging forwards ever so slightly, just to try and maintain that gap to the 1.2 to the 1.4 seconds. As I said that, we got just under the 1.2, but now we're back into the 1.2s again, and you can see I'm just being really careful through here on this occasion, just to try and keep the car stable and steady and try and close up that gap. Greg White now making a move on Faz. Faz has got a 1 second penalty, so Greg White gets that move done. Faz now has a major problem. A 1 second is a huge amount to try and claw back, especially against a very quick running Greg White. So I did feel for Faz at this point. It was a real shame, but he has got that 1 second, and at this point I was thinking, come on, let's just stay within a second of Faz as we get through this last corner, then I'll be able to jump him. So I'm trying to pick up the slipstream at the moment. He does ghost, and my brain is saying, do I go to one side or do I go through? I decided to go through, thinking it was a full second and I was not that far behind. Teddy Ella just in the chat there saying that I'm fast. Yep, thank you very much for that. At this precise moment I was not looking at the chat, either in the live stream or in the game. Now I am ahead of one of my absolute heroes by 1.4 seconds, but I'm 1.1 behind another of my heroes in this game. And they say you should never meet your heroes, but that didn't count in this. This was absolutely me on it and going for it. The lap times are 1:41.7 and a 1:42.1, so they're not absolutely lighting the world up, as Greg White gets it a little bit untidy through there and goes a little bit wide, and he now gets a 0.5 penalty. So they do say consistency. I was just talking about the lap times there. Consistency very often is everything, and we really need to just keep this consistent. So I was just looking to see where everybody was just then. But yeah, consistency is everything, and one of the things I'm doing in here is I'm keeping my lap times relatively consistent, but I'm also staying away from the track limits to try and make sure that we don't get penalties. So at the moment Faz is now 2 seconds behind. Greg White, to serve the penalties, move in to try and break the toe, but we did manage to keep it. We managed to get that move done. So now I am in front of two of my heroes in this game. 0.4 ahead of Greg White. We got a great first corner. Need to keep it really smooth through here, just picking up the insides of these curbs really nicely. I love that a lot. Fifth gear, just holding it until we go over the top before we change up into sixth. So a really late change there, getting it down into fourth for this corner. A quick look at the timing, and we are still 0.4 ahead of Greg. So Greg is not making any inroads into our lead at the moment, but then we are not extending that. So pressure, last lap, last time through the chicane. Can we keep it nice? Yes, we can. That was beautiful through there. 0.46 now. Greg is catching. He's got it down to just under the 4. Hard on the brakes. Down into first gear. Actually went up into second to come out of that. I was frightened of getting wheel spin. That has enabled Greg to close up. I'm now into a situation where I need to defend for my life. PSR are blazoned on the front of that Lamborghini that Greg is running. We got a brilliant little run through there, but he closes up. You can see he's closing up. He goes for the right hand side. I've stayed in the middle of the track, squeezing slightly just to try and defend, leaving gap on the outside. We got a good run out of the last corner. Did Greg give that to me? Did we win it on merit? I will never ever know, but I'm going to take that. Teddy already giving me the congratulations. And there we have it. 0.9 ahead of Greg White. 4 seconds ahead of Faz, 2 of my absolute heroes in this game. Gelovino Rego in 4th. I'm saying that wrong, but never mind. Massa in 5th. JW in 6th. Kathy Marco in 7th. And then Mad Cat and the other racer just a little bit behind. 3 points race, clean race bonus, and a race that I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed, as did a few others. I hope that you've enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed the race. If you have, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit the like button for the video and hit the bell button for more notifications of more videos like this. In the meantime, I will see you on another video coming very soon. Take care. Bye bye.